I've gotten a lot of messages from you guys about my circular decks. I have about 6 decks that are circular, and a lot of people who seem to have some trouble with them. Now, years ago, many years ago, when I first got the Daughters of the Moon Tarot, my soul deck is circular, and I had some trouble with it. So I challenged myself to learn some methods of how to use it in a way that worked for me. Well, lately people have been asking me about it. So I said, well, let me do a short video and just show people what I figured out. Now, I don't know if anybody else figured this out before me or after me, but this is just what I taught myself how to do intuitively from just working with my circular decks. So I'm going to show you a few things that may be a little bit helpful, and if they are, maybe you'll be able to use them. My name is QueenAusetHeru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and pass it on to anyone and everyone who might like it too. Please drop us a positive comment in the comment section. And if you want to get your own reading done, please hit me up, my social media, my email, as well as anything else you need to know about me is underneath this video. So let's get started. First and foremost, I'm going to show you my mat. Underneath this video, there is a link to this mat. Wait a minute. Let me move this out your way. There you go. This is, here we are. It's the Phoenix mat, and it comes from Ascension Life brand. It's always underneath when I do readings, but you can never see it because there's always crystals and things all over it. But here's our beautiful Phoenix. The mat has the same quality or feel of a mouse pad, but as you can see, it's humongous. And there's people on it, and I just love it. And you can get this particular artwork on shower curtains and blankets and mugs and all kinds of stuff. And there's more artwork as well. Ascension Life brand is a brand that I partner with because they have a focus. She has a focus. It's a female-owned brand, and she has a focus on positivity. And I thought that was really cool. So first things first, okay? You take this beautiful deck. You guys know that I really love this deck. You remember this one? It is the, let me turn it to the side so you can read it a little bit. There we are, Sacred Revolution Oracle. And it was gifted to me, and I did a whole review on it. So if I remember, I will put a link to it right here. If not, it is under my reviews. So first and foremost, this is what I'm going to show you, okay? If you have a deck that's the size, the circles are all in different sizes. So it really depends on the size of your hands, okay? If you are like me and you have medium to large size hands, I'm moving my microphone a little bit over so I can show you guys, you'll be able to shuffle these. You just break them in half like so. If you're a ruffle shuffler, get them lined up in your fingers like so and go for it. They're kind of stiff because they're brand spanking new. I've only used them for like 2 weeks, but as you can see, you can shuffle them. It's not really that big of a deal, but like I said, it really does depend on the size of your hands. Here we go. I'll show you guys again. Got them in the same position. And go for it. Now these cards are very good quality, so they, even if they were square, they're going to be a little stiff until you loosen them up. So that's the first way, very easy way to shuffle them. Now I'm going to show you another deck. This deck, the money deck, okay, another circular deck. I got this one on Amazon. Now I'm going to show you. They're smaller circles. However, same principle applies. Get them in your fingers like so. Same way you would with a rectangular deck. And go for it. See? So it's not really very much more difficult to be able to shuffle them. Now, Let's say, for example, I'm getting my other deck out, have big circles. Bam! What do you do with the big circles? Well, again, depending on the size of your hands. All these things depend on the size of your hands. So I have lined them up like the others, and here we go. Do that 4 or 5 times and you have a great shuffle. See? So that's basically what I do to shuffle them. Now, some people find that method not to be the method they want to use. So here's another method that I came up with. I call this the pool method. You may often see people do something similar with rectangular decks, but this is what I do. I pull them out and I stare at them. I zone out during this case. And I just stare at them and I keep pulling them like I'm staring into a pool of water and just playing with the water. And I just pull them around. Make sure I do it really good sometimes. And you need a big space. The larger the cards, the larger the space you need. And I pull them about. I zone out. I move them to the side. I flip them if I feel like it. And I just keep doing that. Now, mind you, these cards have something on both sides of them. So normally this would be all backs. And I would just be staring at the backs. And when I got to a point where I felt like this is it, I'd grab a card. Never one my hand fancied. And that's my card. You see? So that's the pull method, okay? Let's pull these together. Now, because of the fact that they have something on the front and back, I will also show you with these, because I'm going to show you one more thing with these. So, like I said before, remember, I said they would be on backs. So they're going to look like that in most cases. It's just that one deck that has something on the front of the circle and the back. So again, we do the same pull method. I have a nice big space. I move them around. I stare at them. And this could take 3, 4, 5 minutes. 1 minute, depending. 30 minutes. It depends on like what kind of mood you're in and what you're asking about. So I just do this pull method. And I just keep on moving them around. The longer you pull them around, the better of a shuffle you get. Sometimes they fall. I grab them and put them back up. I take them out. Go all the way to the bottom of it. Because there's always some underneath. Ooh, grab those. They start to fall. And this is literally exactly what you see me doing right now. It's literally what I do. Then I throw out some extra ones, the ones from the bottom. So now the ones on the bottom are on the top. Bam, bam, bam. And then I grab. And I just keep going. That's it. My pull method. And then after a while, after I've zoned out and done this long enough, I will then grab my handy dandy card holder, put it towards the top, and I would just grab one, the one that I'm fancying, the one that my energy is pulling me towards. Let's say it's this one, right? Now I'm very careful with this part. Look at that. Turn it up just like that, right? And I leave it just like that. Grab the card holder and immediately put it in just like this. And you're getting ready to see why. Okay? Now what you see here is the 9 of blades. But take notice on how it is. This is the top of it. This would be 12 o'clock right here. So, because it's all the way here, that 12 is all the way around. Think about it like a clock. 12 is up here, 6 is down here, 9 is here, 3 is here. So because our 12 is all the way down here, it's past 3 o'clock, and it's not quite yet at 6 o'clock. I would say about 4 or 5 right here. So if I get that, that tells me that the Nine of Swords is almost completely reversed. That's how I read that. So based on it being almost completely reversed, I would say this person is coming out of the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords is despair, anguish, can't sleep, anxiety, bad dreams. So this person is coming out of that. Maybe they had a really hard time. Somebody might have passed over. God knows what has happened to this poor person. But they're coming out of it because the Nine of Swords means you're coming out of this energy. But you see how when I picked it up, I was very careful to take it exactly how it is. I'll show you another one. And you can do this with any deck that you read reversals with. I'm going to just take one at random, okay? I'm going to close my eyes and just take any one. I'll take this one. Now, look at how it came up. I'm very careful to grab it how it came up. It's my mother. It's all set. All set and Isis are the same spirit, the same goddess, right? Okay. Now, look at how she is. The priestess. That's the high priestess. So, our 12 o'clock is over here all the way at 9 o'clock. So this means that this high priestess was reversed. It was at 6 o'clock and is rising. So this high priestess, if I got this card for someone, I would assume that this was a priestess who was rising. She is manifesting. She may be learning more. This could be a new priestess, or it could be an old priestess like who's learning new stuff, manifesting new things. Something like that. The high priestess always talks about like spirituality, esoteric knowledge. So this person is increasing in that based on the fact that it's at 9 o'clock going towards the upright. So this person is increasing. Okay. I'll give you another example. Take another one by random and notice how carefully I picked them up, very carefully, to leave them exactly how they fell. Aha, okay? This one came exactly in the reverse. This is the Four of Wands reversed. Now, the Four of Wands, when it's reversed, is not a bad card. The Four of Wands is never a bad card, basically. The Four of Wands is about, you know, family, celebrations, things like that. Graduations. Is all about happy celebrations. When it's reversed, those celebrations may be short-lived, or they may have some issues or something like that, but nonetheless it's still a happy celebration. And I'll scoot through and take out one more. Bam. Alright, again, careful to put it exactly how it came. It came just like this. This is the Four of Cups in the upright. So, since it's the Four of Cups in the upright, we can read it exactly how it is. It's sorrow. Okay? Now, if it had come this way, the person would be coming out of the sorrow. This way, the person is almost out of the sorrow. Things are really getting great. This way, they back into the sorrow. So you see, I read it like a clock. So that is how I do the actual reading of the circular cards. Now, when you have tarot like these, it's just a matter of you knowing the upright and the reversal. Now, if you don't read reversals, then clearly you just turn it into the right side and move on. But I always read reversals. I think for me personally, it's one of the reasons why I'm so accurate. Tarot cards mean a lot of things, and knowing what they mean is either going to be intuitive or some kind of technique you've technique you've taught yourself or learned, something like that. So that's why I use reversals. There are other ways to do it though, so it just depends on what you like. Now we're going to take these again. Now remember what I told you about these. They have very thick, awesome card stock. So again, I would maybe do the pull method, staring into them, moving them around, grabbing the big ones from the bottom, putting them on top, Same pull method, right? But this is going to be a little bit different because when I grab it, that's how it came up, just like that. This would be about 11 o'clock. So we're going to put it in there like that. So because it came up, oh, it's not going to sit. We're going to sit it like that. Because it came up at 11 o'clock, that means it's almost in the upright. So I would pretty much read it in the upright. Now let's imagine it had came up that way. This way I would have read it reversed. Okay? And with this particular guidebook, we're very blessed because it has reversals in it. So if a oracle deck has reversals, you can do the same method. And if it does not, then you're just going to read it in the upright. So for this one, it's not called a reversal, it's called the shadow aspect. So when we open it up, we see the shadow right there. Can we read it? I'm getting old, so my eyes are like, wait, what? The shadow aspect, I'm going to just read it to you. It might be a little blurry for you guys. Codependency, addictions, overburdened, distracted, unboundaried, resentful, saying yes when you mean no, violation, responding without thinking, triggers, victim consciousness, fawning, and people pleasing. So if it came up that way, that's how I would read it. If it came up this way at 3 o'clock, for example, 3 o'clock is almost upright, but it's starting to have some problems. It's going towards that 6. So I would assume that yes, it's in the upright. This is the upright up here. Basically, it's talking about when to say no and when to say yes. I love it. Okay, it's all about discernment. So because at this point it's at 3 o'clock, I would assume that this person is able to do this, but maybe a situation has come about where they're having a hard time maintaining their boundary. That's what that 3 o'clock would tell me. If it was all the way at 6 o'clock, I would say that they've fallen into that shadow aspect. If it was at 9 o'clock, I would say they're in the shadow, but they're coming out of the shadow aspect. So that's how I read the circular cards. I hope that's helpful. Please let me know if you have any questions. But basically all I do is just, I just kind of play with them, and I kind of like, have an opportunity to vibe with them on that level. And like I said before, any of these shuffling methods can be helpful to you depending on you. So, the pull method might not appeal to you, but grabbing them and shuffling them the way that I did might. Okay? Let me know what you think. You guys come back soon because I got a lot more to say. See you later.